Hello and welcome to my presentation. My name is Hillary Mitchell. I am the project manager and I'm also a digital librarian with the Image Management Department at UVM Medical Center. So first of all, I would like to go over the agenda for this presentation. The first is to go over the need, explaining why this project took form. I will go through the descriptions of all the ramifications of why we will need this project to take place. I will go over the budget to implement this project. And then I will go over, in conclusion, kind of wrap things up for you folks. So if you have any questions, you'll have that opportunity at the end of the presentation. Currently, the first need I would like to discuss is the limited radiological imaging access that our UVM providers have. Right now, our providers depend highly on digital librarians and image management staff to process outside imaging for transfer patients coming into clinic. And the issue rises when there is a case in an off hour where there's no one staffed to process these images. Image management does not have digital librarians available 24 hours a day. So this need for imaging access can result in delays in patient care. There is some time needed to retrieve outside imaging, and then there is time to process that imaging. The way things are going now, it does delay patient care quite a bit, especially if the providers cannot go into the system themselves and take a look at some of these scans. In really emergent cases, we are a level 1 trauma center, so we do get the worst of the worst, unfortunately. And sometimes our providers cannot wait for those outside images to come through, so they will go ahead and they will order for repeated radiological scans to happen because they need that information right away in order to make a care plan for the patient. These repeated studies can present a greater strain on radiology staff, and it also can increase the patient's exposure to radiation in general. And above all of that, the cost of doing these repeated scans can end up in our patients' pockets. Sometimes insurance denials will deny a scan if they don't feel that it was necessary, and that includes duplicate studies. So here is a graphical representation of typical radiation exposure from common studies that are done on patients that come to the hospital. As you can see here, we have very low radiation for a bone density scan, and something more common like a CT scan or even a cardiac stress test, or our trauma patients. One CT scan can provide about 3 years worth of radiation for one scan. So if we can avoid repeat scans, it will really help the patient overall. So what is this project? Well, this project is to expand the current access that our providers have to outside imaging without having to go through a digital librarian or an image management staff person. This will allow the providers to go right into the PACS system and see what is in there right away. So how is this going to work? The first thing that we need to do before we start changing our current PACS system software privileges is to inform radiology and providers that there will be a change to the system, and this could affect workflow. It could affect accessing images for both radiology staff, digital librarians, and providers. So the first thing we want to do is give them a heads up that we'll be working on changing a few things in the PACS system. The second thing that is going to happen will be just a simple collaboration between radiology staff, provider staff, and the IT department. So it's really going to be a back and forth collaboration of what works, what isn't working, really tweaking that access so providers feel supported and they feel that they have the best access possible for their patient care. And then once that is all established, we will then go ahead and work with the IT department to make those software updates and change the current PACS system access that our providers have. And finally, once IT feels comfortable, once we've collaborated a little bit more with providers, we will then have providers participate in a PACS training. So they will understand how to get images quickly, how to process them quickly, and they will be empowered to get that information readily. So how will this solve the problem? Once providers can gain immediate access to outside imaging, we will see a huge decrease in patient care delays. Important care decisions can be made promptly. Certain traumas, stroke patients, patients with heart issues, the faster that we can get that information about what's going on with them, the better their overall result will be. Early intervention is key to a really good result for them. There will be a less need for duplicate studies, which will decrease patient radiation exposure. This will also decrease insurance denials and the financial burden on both the hospital and our patients. And then, importantly, it will also help radiology staff take that pressure off of them. It is really demanding, especially with the traumas coming through. If we can utilize a scan from another hospital that is just as good, it will really ease things up for our technologists and our radiology staff. So every project has a budget. This project is no exception. The budget for this project the total is $10,000. And here you can see it's broken down into 3 different sections. So the most costly is getting those PACS updates to our software. There might need to be some tweaks. We might need a software architect to add certain things, change certain things. So that will be the bulk of the cost for this project, is just getting in there and making those changes in PACS. The second one is really important, making sure the providers have training materials and resource materials, and also that time to take and 1 or 2 days to have them navigate the new PACS system and provide that training for them and that empowerment. And then the third breakdown of the budget is my services as a project manager. We are expecting that I will be on this project for about a month, and that cost is $3,000 for half time that I will be here a month. So in conclusion, we are hoping that this project will provide overall better patient care, less frustration for our providers, and more empowerment for them to provide the best care that they can, decrease stress on radiology staff, and decreased insurance denials. We will be analyzing our results, sending out surveys to providers, collaborating with IT, and also sending out patient satisfactory surveys and working with the billing department to see how these changes have improved the overall patient experience at UVM. So thank you so much for listening today. If there's any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I really hope this project takes off. Thank you.